Hi, this is Quinlan, and in this video, I'll share some information about how you can access and hike some of the most glorious segments of the Michinoku Coastal Trail in North Japan. First, a little background information. The Michinoku Coastal Trail was established in 2019. It's a 1,000-kilometer coastal trail that stretches from Hachinohe in Aomori, in the northeastern tip of the main island of Japan, all the way down to Soma in Fukushima. The northern part of the trail goes through the Sanriku Fuko National Park. This is a relatively new national park established in the wake of the Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami. It was stitched together along that northern Pacific coastline for a number of prefectural parks and geoparks up there. And it boasts 200-meter cliffs towering above the ocean, amazing rock formations, beautiful walks through coastal pine and beech forests, as well as hand-carved tunnels and exciting little ladders in some areas. It's just glorious. If you wanted to hike the entire 1,000-kilometer trail, definitely go for it. That would take a little under 2 months for most people, and there are websites and information which are linked to in the description that do have information on how you can stop at campsites, download PDF maps, get GPS sort of apps that you can put on your smartphone, all sorts of resources for doing that. However, most people don't have the time or perhaps inclination to spend 2 full months doing it, and most of the people who've been reaching out to me ask me just about how to do a few days, maybe 1 to 5 days is the most common length of time that I get asked about. And so I thought I'd make a video sharing some of that information. I also am lucky enough to be in touch with the people who are managing the trail and promoting it, and they specifically took me around the coast again recently and showed me some of the newer resources that they have made available and a website that they've created to make it easier for people to do just that. Access those delicious segments just for, say, 1 to 5 days. The southernmost area of the trail that I'm recommending is Miyako, home to the Jodok Gama Pure Land Beach. In fact, the name Jodok Gama translates to Pure Land Beach because 300 years ago, a Buddhist monk visiting the area for the first time was struck by the beauty of these rocks. The white rocks with the green pine contrasting against the blue of the sky and the lighter bright blue of the ocean was so struck by its beauty that he said this must be what the Pure Land looks like. And it is pretty spectacular. I also recommend, if you've got time, to do a little kayaking around here. There's a link in the description to another video and to more information about how you can hire a kayak and go kayaking around these stunning rocks. The roadside station in Taro, this is the northern area of Miyako, is also a great place to rent a e-bike, which is rather inexpensive. And from there, you can bicycle just a short distance to see the ruins of the Taro Kanko Hotel. This hotel was devastated during the 2011 tsunami. The owner watched from the top floor of the hotel as the tsunami washed over the seawall like it was nothing and crashed into his hotel, gutting the bottom few floors of it and destroying most of the town. The hotel itself has been cleaned up a little bit, but left in its basically gutted form as a reminder and artifact of the devastating power of that tsunami. Further to the north, you'll find the Hotel Ragasso, which is a very convenient place right on the coast with amazing views of the sunset that I recommend as one of the lodging places that you'll stay. You can rent a bicycle for very cheap, all this information, of course, in the description, from the hotel and bike further into town if you want to do some shopping or just do some sightseeing in the area. In addition to taking trains and buses to get you along the coast in between the segments you want to hike, there's a new service where you can actually take a Sappa-sen, or local fishing boat, between some segments of the hike in Tanohata, Iwate. And I love these fishing boats. You can also hire them just for an hour tour ride for a really inexpensive price and go under these 200-meter cliffs and look at the glorious rock formations there. I will, of course, put links to that information in the description. And in fact, there's also other videos I've done in the past where I take a ride on that boat, not to get from point A to point B, but just to enjoy the ride. Now, in the Iwate and Aomori areas, there are tons of points where you can send your heavier luggage ahead to the hotel or station where you're going to be reaching at the end of that day. So you can just hike with a day pack with your water and snacks, and you don't have to lug like everything you're carrying for your entire trip to Japan with you. This service is accessible from a number of train stations there along the coast, as well as hotels that are welcoming trail hikers. There's a new website that was made that's talking exactly about how to do this, and that's going to be the main link in the description of this, is that website with the information on how to do that. It is a game changer for people who want to access some of these remote areas without lugging everything with them. If you'd rather hike the trail with a guide who can explain about the local plant life, culture, history, everything like that, then there are a number of English guides available to take you on some of these delicious, exciting, adventurous segments. I'm also on that guiding team, though it's not just me. There's a good handful of English guides available to help. I would love to take you, of course, and tell you about the local history of the area, as well as point out interesting edible foods and maybe dangerous poison ones that you find along the trail. One of the other highlights of this area is the Nidari Hama area. This has some just gorgeous rock formations, and depending on the time of year, there's lots of flowers blooming, there's little waterfalls coming from springs from the cliffs above, and you may meet some local fishermen along the way as well. As you can see, I'm standing right in front of another one of these hand-carved tunnels. This one was made by locals around 60 or 70 years ago to connect two different fishing harbors to each other, so you would be able to reach there on foot, not just by boat. And I am so grateful because they're so much fun to walk through. So, while I'm exploring these tunnels and rugged bits of the coastline, let me provide a bit more concrete information. A project called Trail and Train recently created a set of services and a website, which is linked to in the description of this video. And we're basically promoting section hiking in the northernmost 160 kilometers of the trail. You'll find detailed maps for the routes, train times, sites along the way to keep an eye out for, great places to eat, and other recommendations from local guides on the site. It also showcases some self-guided 4-day tours of this area that include accommodation, meals, transportation by taxi where necessary, luggage forwarding, and online support. Of course, if you'd rather have a guide, there are a number of guides working with the project, including me, that would be happy to share a coastal adventure with you. And if spending 3 nights and 4 days hiking along the Pacific coast doesn't fit your schedule, there's information for shorter stretches as well. I really think even just a day exploring some of the most epic bits in the Tanohata area of Iwate, which you're looking at right now, as seen from the sky, is just an unforgettable experience. This trail is so far off the beaten path that you're really unlikely to meet anyone outside of local fishermen and maybe the odd thru hiker. It's pretty magical. I hope I've sparked your interest in the Michinoku Coastal Trail. It is really remote, and you're getting to see a very authentic, real Japan that very few foreigners do. Don't miss this opportunity. If you have any questions, reach out in the comments, or you can go to my website, gonorth.jp, or reach out through any sort of social media, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the trails.